Warning: the following content contains language that may be inappropriate for younger viewers. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
Welcome to the Let's Get Heavy podcast, where we explore the realms of heavy music and have conversations with some of the most talented bands within the genre. This episode I'm joined by Nick and Lee from groovecore band Survivalist, where we find out about the band's inception, current releases, and potential for a new album in 2025. So let's get heavy. First of all, I want to introduce myself. I'm Stevie from Get Heavy UK, and here we like to highlight bands, just have a good old chin wag, and here we're going to talk about Survivalist. So first of all, guys, how are you doing?
Fantastic. As I said, don't buff right now.
Yeah. Feeling the burn. And how about yourself, Lee? How's yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. Just working hard, getting the hours of practice. You know, next hit in the gym. I'm not in no gym like, but just getting the hours in practice for upcoming shows and stuff like that. A few shows we've got coming up in 2 or 3 weeks time down south of Ireland, and just prepping and stuff, getting ready to go into the studio, record some bass parts and stuff for the next album.
Sweet. So that was actually going to be my next question. What are both your roles within the band? So I've guessed Lee's the bass player.
Yeah. I actually used to be a bass player, funny enough.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So the start of the year, like March time, we used to have 2 guitarists actually. And for different reasons, you know, family and work commitments, they both had to leave. And we got so far into writing the new album that I was kind of writing anyways. Like, right, we either get a new guitarist, and then I have to go through showing all that, you know, or I just take on the guitar myself, which I'm kind of guitarist anyways originally. And then Lee is a teacher in bass and like a wizard. So it just made sense when we knew about Lee, and it was like, right, let's switch things around. So guitar now.
So you were a 5-piece, is that correct? And you've moved to a 4, is that correct?
4 now, yeah.
Yeah. Cool beans. So I'll let you get a bit of origin stories. So basically, let's get some history on Survivalist. The formation and influence. How did Belfast groove metal Survivalist come together?
Where's Gavin? Gavin's the OG. You know, at this point, he sort of started the band together, I think in 2019. Funnily enough, I was a fan. I was at the first show. They played one show without me. I remember buying a t-shirt, and there's still a picture of me, like, on the social media being like, oh, support your bands, you know. They did like a Metal of the Masses competition that happened in Belfast, and it happens actually all around the UK. And then COVID hit, so I think they had time to write some music, and they got, you know, 5 or 6 songs done the first album. And then by the time I had joined, at that time, members switched around for whatever reasons, and now here we are, sort of from them, didn't look back, you know.
So obviously you started with Survivalist a bit later. How has the sound overall changed since you first saw them live to where you are now?
Yeah. Well, I think as well with Reese, our now drummer, joining. He joined, was it beginning of last year maybe? He's been here for a while too. He plays to a click track, which people, they don't realize how important it is. The first time I saw Survivalist, I remember it was fast, and it was like a bit too fast sometimes. But yeah, I definitely saw, I think, we used to play in drop B, which was an interesting thing. So I did see a lot of Slipknot, you know, sort of influences and sounds that were, you know, more core. Whereas whenever I joined, that's when we finished the first album, we wrote Rot and then Greater Negative, and I was like, let's tune it down. So now we're in drop G, and then some new songs reaching like double drop D territory. So it's definitely gotten heavier and like dirtier sounding.
Especially with tracks like Greater Negative. That's an absolute beast of a track, guys. Absolute beast. So a little bit more about yourself, and Lee, when did you join after Nick, or are you relatively new to the band?
So I've been a Survivalist for probably about 7-8 months or so now, I think.
Yeah.
But kind of similar to Nick, it was kind of like a funny, not like transition, but like entry to the band for me, because I've known Gav and worked with Gav and friends with Gav for a very long time. I'm more so with Reese, which is one of my best mates and has been for a very long time. Me and him, we went to college together and stuff, so we've worked together quite a lot. So it wasn't like I was joining like a new band with new people. Well, Nick was kind of newish, but I met him at a couple of shows because, they were opening for, say, like, so Chelsea Grin, Kublai Khan. I was at those gigs, because I was a fan of the band, and obviously their mates as well, so I support my mates. So coming into the band, it wasn't coming into the band of strangers, it's coming to a band of mates and people who I've already worked with. So there wasn't like an awkward phase or, hi, I'm Lee. Nice to meet you. It's nothing like that. It's like, right. I remember Reese phoning me saying, look, here's what's happened. Yeah. And I was like, hell yeah. It was just a quick 60-second phone call, and then I got out to the group chats and stuff, and then, it was kind of in a situation where the new album was kind of being worked on already, so Nick helped me a lot, doing like playthroughs and stuff over the 7 album, and the 3 other singles, Visions, Good and Negative, and Rot. Just basically like those playthrough videos, like, okay, riff number 1 goes like this and all that, so
that was a rough
day.
day.
Very easy for me. Yeah, all the uploads, like all the downloads, like, yeah. No, so it made it quite easy for me to like join the band and just get started, because I think after that, it was about maybe 2-3 weeks before we were in rehearsing, because after that we had shows coming up like quite quickly, so
yeah,
it was kind of like times of the essence. Like I needed to catch up quick.
You call it.
Next,
I would say, to be honest, we played our first shows in May and then Suffocation in June. So you played big shows right away and did a great job. So
wow,
yeah. The playthrough videos and stuff really helped. It just made it easy, and it's kind of a similar situation what we're in now, because obviously a good portion of the new album was worked on before I joined. So like the other week, I had Nick right at my house, and we're doing the exact same thing. Right, here's the first riff of this song, and taking videos, and got like a notebook full of notes for me just to catch up on.
Yeah.
To learn that part. And then obviously there's been process in the studio where I've been there as well. So I'm already kind of ahead with those songs, but it's still kind of like, I've got like survivalist homework still to do.
Yeah. I hear you.
7 months of hard work, but I've enjoyed it. It's what I love doing anyways. It's just not like homework. It's like, homework I like to do.
So, were you in any other projects before you've joined Survivalist?
Before Survivalist, I was kind of just doing like session work or freelance work, playing around bars and stuff, a couple of like blues guitar players, like the Saturday night Oasis, play cover songs, all that stuff there, play Wonderwall, all that. And then, before that, I was kind of in COVID when I moved back to Northern Ireland. Then before COVID, I was in England for maybe just shy of 5 years, because I was studying music there. So I had a band there. It's a bit more like a jazzy funk rock band. So like, it's been a while since I've been in a heavy metal band. The last heavy metal band I was in was probably with me and Gavin. We're just kind of jamming with the band quite a long time ago. So I talked about it maybe like 11 or 12 years ago. So I was psyched, because I was like, I play all these genres, I do all the work and do session jobs and play with like jazz big bands and things. I just needed the heavy metal parts, So it's been a while, but yeah, been a while since I've done heavy metal, but a minute now. So I'm still doing all the session work. Me and Reese would actually do quite a lot of like residencies and stuff around, Bangor, Belfast, kind of area with a few other singer-songwriters I know. The weekend you go from tying your hair up and playing like Dolly Parton and Oasis, and then the next day it's hair down, you're playing all the vibes.
That is brilliant. Bringing like Did any of these other genres help when you come to experiment with Survivalist? So bringing in like you just said, playing country music like Dolly Parton and stuff like that, and then going to Oasis and then going to a jazz background. Do you ever bring any of these elements to Survivalist?
Yeah, I think every musician who like plays all these different genres, you almost can't help but bring them in, because like I'm a big fan of like hip hop and rap and old school, so like funk and soul, R&B, we're talking like Marvin Gaye and the Isley Brothers and things like that. I'm a bass player,
Yeah.
So
I back up
everything I think of.
like me from playing bass. Like I can see him now playing bass, and he's doing it differently. I can see his influences, and I love it. Like it's just making it more musical, and like it's nothing but making everything better. So
Yeah.
I can see the influences definitely as a
Is it big part of just like groove, obviously like Belfast groovecore kind of being like the label for Survivors kind of blends in well, because like my sort of studying stuff is kind of like the groove of like hip hop groove and funk groove, so it's kind of having those two different types of grooves come together. If Reese's on the bass pedal going dun 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 dun, and I'm thinking to myself like, how could I do that? But I'm playing a slap bass, so I'm thinking okay, like slap patterns and how like say Flea from the Chili Peppers would do it. So if Flea and the Chili Peppers are trying to be in a heavy metal band, what would that result in being? That's kind of like how my brain works, because taking those two sort of influences, it just kind of mishmashes together, and it comes out with well, you're going to hear how it comes out with on the album, like.
So I think yourself, Nick, may be the best one for this. So can you share any memorable stories or experiences from the early days of the band? And were there any challenges that you might have faced? If you have, how do you overcome them?
Well, for myself, this is actually my first band since Survivalist, funnily enough, yeah. So I mean, my best experience has been all of them. I don't have any previous work, but I think I've had a weird way of doing it, because I've always been like this bedroom guitarist and just learned, like I've got playlists of what covers I know, what tunings they're in, and like how I've just sort of exposed myself on social media, and then Guitar Hero back in the day. Like, that's how you learn guitar.
Well, you might appreciate this, then, Nick.
Oh, I'd say it.
You can remember this.
Oh, yeah.
The good old Guitar Hero days.
I still have the plug-in one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got that.
Walk around, you turn too much and it's out.
Yeah.
I mean, first show, I think was probably like still memorable. It was in like a speakeasy bar in Belfast, and I had no expectations, obviously being my first band. And for some people, it was like the first show they've done or seen after COVID. It was that during that time. And it was packed out, and everyone just accepted me. Everyone just assumed like this guy knows his stuff. And it was like, how long have you been doing this for? And I was like, this is my first show ever. And like, one of the bands was like, hey, do you want to play bass for another band? And I was like, dude, let me get started here before I even think.
Oh, well, Mick, let us get a chance to find me feet first. I've only just played me first show.
But I think, going forward, then we played Siege of Limerick this year, which is a big festival in Limerick, honestly, in Ireland. And we got to go on the main stage. It was a good slot around 3:00, so just enough for people are starting to drink, not quite late enough. People are having dinner, so. That was like packed out, sold out room. It was just before Lee, but for me, that was a special show to see we can go somewhere else and still pull in that kind of crowd. That was good.
Nice.
We had like Harbinger come out after us, and it's great to see bands like that, and then they start to recognize us, and we're getting friendly people like that. So that was really cool, sort of rubbing shoulders with people I looked up to or listened to over the years.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty sweet. So we've got a debut album as well, released back in 2022. Is that correct?
Yeah.
It's titled 7.
Yep.
Yeah. So, which I have been blasting quite a bit during the day. It's absolute sick album. What was the inspiration behind the album title 7?
Well, again, this would be like just before I joined. I was sort of on the back end of recording that. If anything, I did re-record all the bass parts, so it is me on there. I think it was sort of gone from an idea between Gavin and Thomas, because I knew Thomas, our old guitarist, for a while, and he always had an idea of the Seven Deadly Sins, and Gavin sort of told me more about that as well. And it was always something as well. I have a list of song ideas on my phone, and it's something I thought of doing like an EP or an album, So I fell in love with it. But I can see every song having different sort of takes on different emotions, different sins, and then the likes of Mindfulness and Sloth, one of our songs. It's very, it's sort of a slower song at the end and has a lot of emotion in it. Whereas with Wrath is just a banger, absolute breakdown just all throughout the song. And that's the one I had a big impact on.
That's the one that you resonated with the most. So with yourselves, the pair of yous joining obviously after the debut album, how was it finding learning these songs? Were they complex, or did you find picking up relatively easy?
What do you think, Lee? Try and make it easy for you.
Well, it was made easy because, as I mentioned earlier, I had all these playthrough videos from yourself, Nick. So it was like kind of like, whenever you're starting playing an instrument, you're looking up all these YouTube tutorials, and you've got those guys saying, right, play this riff. You start on the open string here, and the seventh fret here. It was like learning that, but it was my bandmates who gave me these playthroughs. So it was. I found it easy in a way because obviously I had these playthroughs, but as well, I was just excited to get going because I was wanting to get in the studio and rehearse with them. I knew those gigs coming up. There's, gigs sort of like, open for Suffocation. That was the third gig I did with the band. So I knew I had all this stuff coming up. So to me, it was just excitement and just enthusiasm, just getting straight stuck in, learning. And also, I wouldn't say it was difficult. I mean, there was difficult parts in it, just basically getting given an album. I mean, okay, here's an album and a couple of songs. Learn it. So I'm like, oh, fuck, right, I've got so much to learn here, but it's like anything, you kind of take it like song by song, piece by piece, and you jigsaw it all together, and eventually it just all comes round. So it was easy enough. Difficult at times, but in most part, easy, probably more because it's what I wanted to do, and I was just enjoying the whole learning process.
What about yourself, Nick?
I had a different experience because I'd like to think I'm quite organised, and I love doing playthrough videos. Here it is, explain. Here's the notes. When I joined the band, it was just to come to practice and watch what I'm doing, and I just had to see it. What was that? What were you doing? But I think over the years, as I said, making playlists and learning songs and just sort of getting used. I think like when you start learning metalcore or whatever you want to call it, you begin to see the same sort of patterns, the same sort of structures, what works. So whenever I came to joining the band, I could see, okay, they're doing what those guys are doing. This is just as good, and I'm familiar with it. So I think I kind of got in with it quite easily.
Yeah.
And then it made writing that much easier as well because I got to see, firsthand what they were doing. I think same with Lee, he's given me some ideas now. So it's definitely a sort of a natural process. I think what's happened, it's not been any trouble,
Sweet. So with the release of Seven, how long was it before you joined? Has it been out long or?
I joined the day before. Well, technically I joined before, like a month before we announced I was there. I think I joined like April of 2021. And that like the day after Mindfulness and Sloth was released as a single. And then, as I said, I was helping writing with Wrath, so I was there for the release, then. But I would have been there for a good few months, just under a year at that point. Then.
So, how was the reaction to the album? Did it meet expectations?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they did a good job putting that together. And big props to Gavin. He handles the promotion side, the artwork side, the song names, things that sort of catch your eye, so I do have to give a lot of respect to him. And I think, one of the main magazines was Rock and Load magazine. There is a photographer, Mark, who sort of is from Belfast, and he goes to local shows, and he had a very nice post about us and pictures at our album launch show, stuff like that. But it went down very, very well, and then singles after that has been better and better. So
excellent, man, excellent. Yeah. So obviously the latest single, which is what we touched on briefly before, the Greater Negative, it's pretty much been a year since that's been released. Is that right?
Yeah, just over July.
Yeah. So what does the song Greater Negative mean to you? Is it a reflection of a particular experience or emotion?
Well, for me, that song name, I think, sort of came from myself and Gavin talking. I had that idea, sort of, past trauma or past emotions from yourself. There's always something worse. There's always a greater negative, sort of from that line, like this too shall pass, like you're happy now. It's going to get bad. You're bad now. It's going to get good. So you can sort of look at it both ways, I think. Like it's a good song and it could be a negative song. And, I've had some people come up to me in the show and say, I listened to that. That really helped me through a hard time. And now I love listening to it, and it's great to see that reaction, to see they understood where I was coming from, and listening to it, you can tell there's a lot of hard shit and there's a lot of beautiful stuff in it. So
it is a beast, honestly. It's absolute fantastic track, man. Honestly, it's an absolute banger for sure. So you have been relatively quiet since that release. There's been no releases at all since then. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming we're planning something soon. Is that? Am I right to assume that?
Oh, I wish it was sooner.
Well, Nick's not giving away, but Lee's giving us the old nod.
Well, I think because the two members left, it's put a huge delay on everything, unfortunately. But luckily, I was handling the majority of the writing, so it was quite easy to pick back up. Right now, we've finished guitars, I'll say, for the album.
Also, it's a new album.
It is a new album coming out. I finished guitars, and when you know that's done, that's the structure complete. Now it's just filling in the blanks, drums, bass, vocals, whatever else you need, kind of thing. So it's definitely on track now. We are getting this done.
How close are we to a single release?
Well, if anything, if anyone's seen our latest shows, or if you do see our shows, we have been playing one of the new songs, and it is called Deathbed. So if you want to hear a sneak peek, you'll have to get our show to our show. And it may be one of the songs I've said that are down-tuned and just disgusting to show.
2 seconds, because I need to check flights. I need to fly out of Belfast just so I can get this new track.
I thought you were like, what's wrong?
No, I mean, I could try swimming, but fuck.
Yeah, so that's one of the heavy songs, and we had that together a few months ago now. So because we've had to re-record everything, it sort of delayed it. But I feel like that would be the first we'll probably release. Other than that, we've also had to redo our entire set because there's only one guitarist now, of course. So I went into the studio as well and took time sort of re-recording backtracks. So you may hear some sort of leads or synths in the back, and then me playing guitar myself. But now the whole set is tuned to G. So live, we are just heavier regardless. And there's also a new song, and we're just sort of waiting to then, right, let's get these other finished out. But I think early next year would probably be a good shout.
So are we, since you have been playing it live, are we allowed to know what the song title is?
Deathbed, that's what I said.
Deathbed.
Yeah.
So that must have been a challenge for both you guys, and because you used to be a 5-piece dropping to a 4-piece.
Mm.
That must have been quite a challenge in itself, because if you've been a 5-piece with 2 guitars for how long? What?
Yeah, like 3-4 years.
Yeah. So then dropping to 1. How was that experience been changing four-piece?
Under pressure would be not even scratching the surface. I felt, but if anything, I think it pushed me and it really gave me like a passion to be like, no, let's prove to everyone that you can do this yourself. Let's prove that I can move from bass to guitar. Show everyone I've been writing this, the whole time, that kind of thing. So to me, I think it sort of made diamonds out of me. Like, it's made me want to see, like, let's see what I can do. I think if anything, the biggest change is having more sort of backtracks, but you'll hear on our newer album, we're going to rely less on that. So it's kind of got a heavier, I don't want to say simpler, but like a more straightforward sound, but it's still got that, like, no, I know who I'm listening to, but they've changed a bit, and then for Lee, I think he got natural. What do you think?
I was about to say, yeah, Lee.
I like the idea of having like just me and Nick. Yeah, I like the
More
idea
room on
of
stage.
yeah, more room on stage. But I like the idea of having like just me on bass and then Nick on guitar, because it's there's going to be like less clash, with like so it's not going to be like a wall of sound if you have like all these guitars and the big heavy bass, especially if we're tuning down to G and other low tunings. It could, you run the risk of having a wall sound, whereas I think me and Nick have done it quite well, that everything's still very clear. Whenever we're playing in unison, playing the riffs as they are, then the opportunities for me then kind of come, like, I like to play like chords and stuff in bass as well, so it kind of complements the guitar in a sense. Well, I think so anyways, for certain riffs, rather than playing just like the root note down, I might play like a 2 or 3 note chord instead.
Mm-hmm.
I use quite like a distorted, clicky tone, so you kind of hear that punch as well for certain notes. So it kind of gives me a bit more like creative freedom in my bass playing, so that it's not just your typical bass part.
Do the root
it's
notes.
More,
yeah,
yeah. It's not just stick to the root notes. It's kind of breaking away from standard bass parts and standard bass lines.
Kind of acting like a second guitar, but not really being a guitar.
Yeah, I think he kind of fills it out quite well.
That's better. Yeah, that's gonna be a better way of putting it. It's like I'm basically a second guitar player, but
yeah,
I'm just doing the bass. But I'm doing it like with the bass player mentality, but as well as a guitar player mentality. And I think it'd be fair to say like Nick is a guitar player with a guitar player mentality. Obviously, previously played bass, but he's tuning so low, he's tuning down to like almost like the bass range. So
yeah,
we're kind of it's two opposites, like apples and oranges, but at the same time, it's kind of the same thing. It's kind of hard to describe, but
nice fruit salad.
Yeah, but I think the contrast works really well in some way. I do think it does lend itself to quite a unique sound that is still really heavy,
mm-hmm.
but it's clear, and you can tell like what I'm doing and what Nick's doing. You can differentiate the parts. There's nothing really lost. There's no parts overwhelming others. Because you got to remember as well, we've got Reese snapping drums behind us as well, and he's doing his thing. So I think everybody complements each other very, very well. So I quite like the idea of just being the 4-piece. I personally quite like it too.
Yeah, and if anything, the Rock and Load magazine I mentioned as well, he did do a review on our show when we played with Suffocation. That was kind of our first like larger show, showcasing just the 4 of us. And he had mentioned on it, like, if you haven't seen us before, you wouldn't even tell. So that's what we want to hear. Like, as long as we're the same, if not better, it's all good, So we've had nothing but good reviews from it so far.
How did it go down at the Suffocation gig? Did the Suffocation fans accept you, embrace you?
I don't know.
I think.
It went well, but I think it was an older crowd. There was the band Distant as a support, and they're more, our audience. But I think they sort of had the same treatment, being the support bands. That happens, It's not like it was still a great show, definitely.
At the end of the day, right? I say this to a lot of bands, right? You play any show, wherever you play, if you turn around or make an impression on just one person, you've done your job at the end of the day. Because then that person's then going to leave that gig absolutely over the moon. He's just just discovered this epic new band. He's gonna go and tell his mates, check this out. He's gonna search for us on Spotify and blah blah blah, and check these guys out. And that's all it takes.
Exactly.
So word of mouth.
Of an audience that doesn't know me, it's like I want to be able to win you over. I want to see by song 2 or 3. Okay, now people are moving.
Yeah.
And if you've seen my show before, or our show, sorry, I do get out in the crowd as well. So if you're not moving, I will be in there.
You make your move, right?
Yeah.
I'm glad I stand at the back then out the way.
I'll come for you.
No, don't leave it alone. I'm an old man, mate. I can't be bothered with that. So, any particular reasons why you didn't find a fifth guitar player? Oh, sorry, a fifth, but you held 5 guitar players. Any particular reason why you didn't bring in a 5th member?
I think it came to kind of too many cooks when it came to writing. I know whenever it came to writing the album, with who was there at the time, there was some sort of friction sometimes, and that might have just been personalities clashing, or that does happen when you're writing and stuff. That's a way of life. But when it came down to it, me and Gavin, I think, work really, really well together. We understand how we work together, so I know what he needs, he knows what I need at times, and I don't have any problems. I don't feel like I'm missing anything, so like when we thought about it, we were sort of like, it's just going to add another person and another, it might benefit us, it might not benefit us, and then we have to get to know this person, and is it someone we know, is it a stranger, that kind of thing.
I was just about to say, you're bringing in someone completely outside your circle sort of thing, do you know what I mean?
Like Lee had been around already, so whenever he joined, it wasn't like, will Lee join? It's like, when will Lee join?
It's not a matter of ifs or buts, Lee's. It's when.
It was the quickest 60-second phone call. Like,
yeah, because like I say, bringing in someone completely new, they've got to get used to you guys. They might not match your sense of humor, or they might not. You say they might creatively, they might not share your same opinions.
But that's happened before.
Yeah, just going to cause arguments. Like, so, respect for changing. Because like I say, that must be quite a challenge in itself. Yeah, man, big respect for that, and hopefully I'll get a chance to see it live in the future. So, with the new album being currently worked on and on the horizon for possibly next year, have you been exploring any new creative sounds or experiments, etc.?
Yeah, can I take this one, mate?
Well, even though a lot, there's a good portion of it written before I joined, but I think the main thing here is our tuning. Obviously, as Nick mentioned before, 7 is in drop B, and then the upcoming singles focus pretty much in the drop G realm, and then in Greater Negative, there's another tuning change in that. So it's kind of experimenting with the 2 different tunings, and like having some songs being like just G, or the other tuning that like double drop D.
Yeah.
Some other songs having both, and I think that's the main experimentation of this album, is kind of like not so much how much can we get away with this. It's kind of like if this part here, like we want a down tune here for like this breakdown, and then have like the verses in G, breakdown in D, things like that, because that's quite a new thing for me, and that's kind of the main challenge I got hit with as well, because tuning a bass down to that low, to me, I feel like it's almost like inaudible.
Yeah.
So it's kind of literally, and it's just kind of So it's kind of like this experiment of like the way I describe, like if Nick's playing a drop G and then tuning down drop D, I'm playing drop G, but then I'm always tuning up to D, like what a bass would be drop D. So we kind of go like this. So I'm tuning up and Nick's tuning down. So how does that work, and what ways to play the songs and things like that? I think is the main thing for this album. But I think so far we've pulled it off pretty well. But I think it's working, and I think it's kind of becoming part of kind of like, how do you call it, like our signature sound. It's kind of like, we're going to play this song.
You can tell, I think.
yeah, we're going to play this song, and then next song we're playing it, and then we're going to smack you with a down tune, And I'm like, oh, fuck. And then you resume back in the original tuning. So I think that's going to be kind of like a big concept instrumentally to the next album.
Yeah, I think as well. As I said, we've leaned towards the one guitar style of music. So there's certain bands out there like Kublai Khan, for example. We're not quite that hardcore, but like that sort of like simplicity of their riffs. So we've gotten more songs where it's just like battering you. Sort of that style.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Love the sound of it already.
I challenged myself to write a faster song in the double drop D, so that'll be exciting to hear. Like just stanking, but still like keep it like not slowing it down.
Chuggy as fuck.
Yeah. I do vocals live as well, so I'm kind of excited to get myself doing more screams on the album, and we're getting Gavin to do more like proper singing. Because a lot of times I think they lean towards the screaming, so we've got even a softer song, and he's going to be like singing his heart out, and it sounds great. He has shown me what it's going to be like, and I'm a fan of it myself. You know what I mean? So it's definitely going to be huge, I think.
Trying some clean vocals there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How's he coping with it? Is he okay with trying?
Yeah, he's a fantastic singer. For years, I think he has a few covers on his social media of him, doing acoustic guitar and stuff like that, So he's got singing on the albums, but it's always got that sort of growl. But we're gonna hear
it kind of like
flying and birds,
like a gravelly sort of clean sort of thing, gravelly tone to it.
But then in saying that, the drop tune and there's going to be some guttural nasty shit. So we've got to have.
Why is this not out now? I'm an impatient guy, Especially like every time I do these conversations and stuff, I always like tease what's coming up, and it's just, when's this? We need this now.
I promise. We've had enough delays. It is coming out next year. It is coming out next year.
Excellent. Well, please, dear. Any other experimentations? Maybe he's adding some of your jazz background, Lee, or even adding some synths in there, maybe, or even going just above and beyond the extreme and add some saxophone.
There's if you find like that bad speed, they have that breakdown at the end. The first test where your man cracks out a flute is wild, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm in the process of doing now. For a lot of it, I've got the riffs and stuff from Nick, so now what I'm doing is kind of like creating my bass part, so I'm learning the riffs in the sort of sense of how like a classic bass player would do it. Let's play the riff in unison, but now I'm at the kind of going in the stage now of, okay, like, how can I make this like my part? And then, in that there, naturally I'm going to gravitate to, say, kind of like jazz education, or like, well, just be kind of my own style of playing with like other things like I said, like hip hop or soul or R&B. That's naturally going to come through whenever I start trying to develop parts. And even like I mentioned before, why I like the one guitar, one bass is because I have a chance to kind of play chords and stuff like that. So I kind of lends itself to more harmony. Mm-hmm. And the harmony of that, it can be, if Nick plays this chord here, say there's some form of like A minor chord or something, most bass players are going to just go to that A, that root note. But for me now, I'm going to be thinking, well, hold on, why not go on like these? Yeah, why not choose like some of these other notes, and then it kind of makes it into kind of a new chord in that sense. So it's not just say like an A minor chord; it would be like an A minor, and then I'm playing like a C here, so that kind of gravitates it sort of like a different type of chord or a different tonality. And then the next time, say if that's part of a riff, then the next time the riff comes on, I could choose a different note. So it's the same riff, but then it's just going to have like these sort of different flavors.
Oh
yeah, so it's literally just flavoring and just experimenting, seeing what works.
I think as well what you said, since we've definitely leaned more into that. As I said, like I can only do so much on guitar, so there's going to be some leads, of course, but I wanted to lean more towards sort of a Motionless in White sound, how they would sort of do like their leads using synths. We're not going to sound like Motionless in White,
of course.
As a popular example, so that sort of synth in the background to sort of carry the melody. But I think as well, I've been very keen on letting everyone express themselves more. Not that they were ever unable to, but I think it's been very similar so far. Whereas, Reese is in another great band called Lockhorns, and he is the bass player for that band. So he has, a guitar mind to play certain riffs, but they're a bit more progressive, I would say. So, he's given me 2 or 3 demos, and I'm like, right, let me take that, make it our style. But you can tell that came from his mind, whereas I'm like a core boy at heart. So I'll have the gank again, and all the breakdowns. Gab loves his hardcore riffs, so there's some sort of hardcore styles in there too. So I think we've definitely explored a lot more. There'll be a lot more sounds, but I've tried to bring it back to like, no, you can tell it's the same band, the same album.
Yeah.
But there's things there to choose from. There's variety. So
That's pretty sick. And
yeah.
you all seem to have like multi-talented, like, so you're not just limited to one instrument. You all seem to be. So Reese's drummer, is that correct?
Reese is the drummer, yeah.
So Reese's drummer, and yes, and he's in Lockhorns with bass player.
Bass player, yeah.
So that's quite a change as well.
And Gavin plays guitar as well, so he also sometimes comes with, let me give it a go. So.
Is ever just for giggles, just all decided to swap roles for one night?
I've said it a few times, but I don't know if any of us could play drums. Maybe Lee could play drums. I don't know.
I can truthfully say that I suck at drums. I can just about play Back in Black by AC/DC or like Billie Jean, but see anything more than that, I've just got Reese standing in the corner just laughing at me. I suck at drums, man. I suck at drums. I can play bass. I can play guitar. No drums.
Ideal like, intro to the Fire and Sevenfold, the do, and I was like, good. I've hit it.
I just think it'd be pretty sweet, like for an end of year show, someone just completely change. Everyone just what's going on here? I was going to say, Lee, just if you're not best at drums, just try with bongos or something. Do you know what I mean? Just for giggles.
That's a great idea.
I get the triangle out for a breakdown.
Yes, I've been trying to get someone to let me join on at least a song with a triangle. Just stand there, poised, ready. Just waiting for Nick to give us that look when we're on stage. Go on, there we go. But no, that's still waiting. Been doing this for 3 years and still.
I mean, we've got a song that's got some like hammer smacks, so maybe you can do there with the triangle. That'll get the same effect. Lay the hammer down on D.
Well, actually, just have a hammer and just hit the triangle.
Yeah.
Bit of extreme.
Trying to be like Slipknot on stage. Get some beer cans or something, empty beer cans from backstage or something, just hit with the hammer and all day.
Oh yes, I'm the triangle player.
Yeah. I mean, let's not do. I don't know if you remember I think it was a Slipknot show when I think someone hit one of the barrels and it bounced back and hit himself in the face.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that clip. Yeah, let's not do that. That was pretty gnarly. So, other than the album that's coming out soon, what else is in store for Survivalist?
Well, as Lee mentioned, we're playing Cork next week, actually next Friday. Going down to Cork and Fred Zeppelin's, and then Galway the next day. So I've played Cork before. I will say it was probably the sweatiest show we've ever played, like from the ceilings dripping down, and we're kind of sitting there like, am I in a shower right now? What the hell's going on? But that kind of vibe, we're like, this is so good because it's so intimate. So like, I did love it, Galway I've never been to before, so I'm sure that'll be good. I've heard nothing but good stuff about it. And then after that, we're playing the Academy in Dublin, which is probably, will be our biggest show in Dublin now as a headliner. So that's really awesome. And then we'll be doing another Aftermath Fest in New Year's, which might be a spoiler as well, but when we're doing one.
Oh, has that not been announced yet?
No, we want to try do something every year for like a Christmas and end of year sort of aftermath, Aftermath Christmas festival. So that will definitely be on the horizon. And then once we got this album going and some singles, we'll definitely be looking, big tours in UK, hopefully get on some support slots, getting some in front of some new crowds, as I said. Maybe come by you'll see us as well.
Please venture into Newcastle. That'll be absolutely sick. Come hang with the Geordies. Have you been over here before?
Yeah, Lee wasn't in the band at the time, but we played Newcastle.
Really?
Trillions we played.
That's the one, right?
Yeah. I got on one of the barrel tables. I stood on one of those, of course, and did some mad shit, as I do.
I was gonna say, please tell me you didn't fall over.
No, almost.
They're not the most stable of things.
As one I was just kind of like, oh shit. Right, well, I'm here now.
But if you like those intimate, sweaty gigs, little buildings is where you need to be.
Yeah.
It's about 60 to 80 people. It is incredibly warm.
Mm-hmm.
You would just sweat your balls off. Honestly, it's absolutely insane.
That was probably the tour. It was over summertime too. I've never felt like I'm going to pass up, shit myself, and throw up at the same time. But that day I felt like that. That day I did.
That's pretty sweet. Anywhere that you've never played before that you would like to?
Lee, what do you think?
I want to get a Manchester, get a gig in Manchester, man. Because when I used to live in England, so I lived in Liverpool, and most of my shows there were on kind of around Merseyside. I've done a bunch of shows in Sheffield, Leeds, did a couple of shows in London, and of course, whenever I joined the band, we played in Camden. It was the Dev, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was on there, but I know Manchester has not necessarily for heavy metal, but just music and local music in general.
Yeah.
Manchester, it's just one of the places in England you just gotta go to. I know people there. I know bands there who are doing it all the time. And obviously, I heard of bands whenever I was living in Liverpool, just to say next door. But I never managed to get myself a gig in Manchester. So I think Manchester is one place I want to go to.
Manchester for you. Anywhere for yourself, Nick?
I'd really like to get into Europe eventually, to be honest with you.
Oh, really? Anywhere in particular?
I think Germany could be a good shout, honestly.
A lot of people do love going to Germany.
And we did, last time we played Cork, there was two guys from Germany there actually, and they were just like, you've got to come over. I was like, I'm sold. But no, I mean, any music scene I sort of see in Europe, I feel like that would be a good stop. Or even Amsterdam area, and that's sort of around the same place. So, a wee weekend or a week over there will be pretty cool. So I like to see something like that, but definitely more UK as well.
I think Barkin started doing something similar to Bloodstock with the Metal to the Masses. So that'd be pretty sweet if you can get on that.
Oh, we'll see.
Are you on for Metal to the Masses next year?
Not anymore. I think we're trying to prioritize our headline shows or getting support slots. I think bands like that are a great showcase. Bands starting off. I think Survivalist, we did it with the 1 year, and then sort of over COVID we sort of did something Metal to the Masses, and it was a great way to get sort of your name and image out. But there's only so much you can do whenever you're playing sort of 8 weeks in a row at the same venue, and you're like, it's great. It is fantastic, but I think we're going to focus on more headline shows, or getting on tour,
That's fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough. Can't go wrong with that, can you?
Yeah.
So, guys, this part of the interview, how's your Geordie? Do you understand the Geordie language a bit, the accent, and how we talk?
I have
watched. Pretty well.
So you might do rather well on this, Lee. So this is part of the interview. This is called the Geordie Challenge, where we're gonna just say a couple of phrases in our Geordie accent, and you have to try and guess what it might mean in standard English, or for you guys, standard Irish.
I'm from America originally. I'm gonna be terrible at this.
Are you really? You really from America?
Philadelphia, yeah.
I should have guessed by the Flyers hat, to be honest with you. Yes. I should have guessed. That's silly me. But anyway, let's have a try then. So we've got 7 phrases, and you have to try and guess what they might be. But I think Lee might smash us out the park. No one's getting past 5 yet, so you could be the ultimate champion. So the first one, lads, purely belter.
Awesome.
Purely belter. Yeah,
Nick straight. Yep, Nick got it straight away. So
Lee's bass playing is purely belter.
there we go. Just that survivalist. That survivalist band is purely belter. Right, number 2. Are you ready? How are the lads?
However, lads.
Just how are the lads?
I guess it just means like it is what it is. Who cares?
Yeah.
Just have and get on with it.
Not quite.
Or is it wait.
Oh.
However, lads.
However, lads.
How are the lads?
I don't know. I just say, fuck it. It is what it is. That's what I'd say. It's not quite. So, I don't know.
Just let's go. Let's go. It's like if you go to the Newcastle games, you got to watch a tune play. How are the lads? I mean, just how are the lads? All right, so I thought you might have smashed it, Lee, but not quite. But anyway, you still might get top spot. You still might get this. Like I said, top 5.
It's still time. It's still hope.
It's still time, of course. Number 3, I'm clamming for me bait.
I want to go to bed.
You want to go to bed?
Yeah.
No. Not quite. For me, clamming for me bait.
Hungry?
There we go. Hungry for me food. Yeah.
There we go.
I thought Lee would have done well.
Where are you at?
Nick's gonna all our American bands that we've interviewed. You're putting them to shame at this minute, Nick. Right, number 4. Who's ready for number 4? I'm Ganyem. Remember, if you need this in a sentence, I'll be happy.
Yeah, in a sentence. Yeah.
In a sentence. So after that survivalist gig, I'm Ganyem.
Oh, you're going home?
Yep. There we go. It's pretty easy when you give it in a sentence. There we go. So far, only one incorrect. Doing absolutely well, lads. Number 5, he was gone proper Raj.
Just going mental, super mad.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. Fucking hell, Nick. What's going on? What's where the fuck's your phone? Are you Googling these?
Jeez. I'm the translator and we go back on tour.
Right, there he's going. When he's come to Newcastle's giving you a fighting chance and let you. Oh, I remember that one when I chatted to Steve at Get Heavy UK. Right. Oh, I find this is normally the most amusing one to say because everyone thinks I'm saying something else. But number 6, here's a Deeks. Do you see what I mean? You see what I mean?
Just because we're over a video call doesn't mean you can.
Oh, I did an interview with one band, and asked. It was the very first band that we tried this with, and she literally thought, she literally thought I said Dicks, and I was like, no, I had to spell it. I was like Deeks, Deek, as in like being an American triple Deek, you should know.
Give us it in a sentence. Let me see.
So, Lee, can I have a Deeks of that new Survivalist song?
Like a sneak peek?
Like
yeah, I'm fucking telling you what's going on here. Like, I'm gonna have to. What's going on? You're cheating or something lately. Nick, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Behind the phone here, translator page.
Is that what it is? Shit. Oh, well, it's number 7. It's probably the most easiest one of them all, which is Hour of the Moon.
At midnight?
Hour of the Moon.
Nighttime.
It is midnight, the hour of the moon.
Well, yeah, true, but it's...
You're not wrong.
you kind of... You need it in a sentence.
Like bedtime.
Mm-mm. Like I said, that you've so... I was Hour of the Moon with that Greater Negative track.
Over the moon.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's literally just Over the Moon, but
yeah,
we just say Hour.
A couple of apostrophes in there.
Yeah, pretty much. Just I was Hour of the Moon with that new track, like.
Yeah, cool.
Well, guys, that's 6 out of 7. Fucking top of the fucking leaderboard. I'm gonna have to cheating or something like I don't know. It's brilliant though. I smashed it, top of the leaderboard. I would have, like, to be fair, we normally do that with the American bands, but I thought, see how the Irish get on, and you fucking smashed it, guys. Well done.
Duolingo, so I sort of got in that sweet spot.
So, guys, before we do call it a night, anything that you wish to plug before we end it?
Well, as we've said a lot, new album. It is coming out next year. If I have anything to do about it, it's coming next year.
Coming next year.
So, do keep an eye out on all our social medias, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I have been running TikTok as much as I don't want to. Funnily enough, I've just gotten a viral video for like a really stupid thing. Class. We've got new merch coming for this tour. That will be available then afterwards on our Bandcamp. Anything that goes into that, it goes to future tours or paying for studio time. So we don't make money off of it. It is just to fund us at the minute. So anything obviously appreciated. And our own social medias, we're pretty cool. We're not bad guys.
And in case any promoters or anybody watching this back, where can they email yourselves or find yourselves to book a potential show here in the UK?
I believe it's survivalist@gmail.com, but like it's a V instead of a U in the survive. So SVR. Looks not confusing at all, but yes. Or fire an Instagram message just directly to the band. Perfect way to message us as well.
Sweet. No worries at all. Well, guys, appreciate your time. Thanks for hanging out with us and giving up some of your free evening. We end all our interviews with this motto: the rules of the pit are the rules for life. When someone falls, we pick them up.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.